A radio show host in Seattle called Paul Gallant.
You are definitely living in the hindsight world today, Paul.
Do you feel there's been a consistent theme with the interceptions?
I think every interception really has a different story.
I was just kind of curious what Paul gets to say.
You got f***ing grow up, mother. Are you kidding me?
Paul Gallant, what the hell is wrong with you?
Hello and welcome aboard another episode of the Gallant Says podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud. You could join in the live chat, though, if you watch this show weekdays, 3 o'clock Central Time, at least for the last 2 days. You can do that on Twitch, twitch.tv/GallantSays, or on youtube.com/Paul Gallant. One Twitcher, Jimmy Jam 8168 asks, you like the ending to season 1 of House of the Dragon? Well, stick around, though there might be a spoiler on the way for you. G-Man on YouTube says, holy Gallant, Batman, I get to watch you live. You rock harder than Ozzy Osbourne. Thank you. I have not eaten a bat yet. Iron Man is a fucking banger of a song, and I'm glad that they play that at every single Astros game. Go Astros, we batting with brooms. You know, it does feel good to watch the Houston Astros right now, right? I mean, hell, I'm going to give you the song that I continuously play on the Paul Gallant Show, ESPN 97.5 and 92.5 right now.
Why did they argue the umpire's call? Why did the fielders crash into walls? Why do you think the pitchers throw smoke? Why do you think they go for broke?
Who says it's only a game?
Why did the catchers wear iron masks? Why did they dive for the dive on the grass? Why did they go head first into home? Why do the losers feel all alone? Who says it's only a game?
When you want to give it all you've got, the war's not over till the final shot. It's pride and glory and fame, pain. Who says it's only a game? Who says it?
Why do you think they call them spikes?
I don't know.
Why do you think they call them strikes?
I don't know.
Why do they give it more than they've got? Why do they always reach for the top?
Who says it's only a game? Astros baseball. Who says it's only a game? Shout out to whoever was doing all sorts of cocaine and came up with that song. I love the energy of it. It does feel a little bit like push it to the limit. I'm really enjoying covering this Astros team. I'm not going to lie. I talked about it on today's Paul Gallant Show, which you should check out the podcast of. It's different than the Gallant Says podcast. Paul, you're throwing too many podcasts at me. Podcasts are over. It's not going to happen. Fine. All I'm saying is that today on the Paul Gallant Show, I talked about how the Astros have a chance to have the first perfect postseason since 1976 when the Cincinnati Reds did it. And they're the first team that could potentially go 11-0 in the postseason. They would have to sweep the Phillies. I don't know if that's going to happen, to be perfectly honest. The Phillies are hot, but the Astros are just as hot, seeing as they haven't lost a game. Here's what I want to talk about, though. As much as I love covering that team, I cannot help but feel commitment phobic. If you know me, you would know that I want what I can't have. And I would specifically point to the relationships that I have had in my life. I have very often gone after people who are taken or who don't want me. And the people who do want me, I throw to the side because I'm a fucking idiot. The only person that does seem to want me is my cat, who is, bumping her little face against my head my ankles right now. But she just wants food, and she's trapped in this studio right now and can't get out. As she looks behind so impatiently. If you're watching on the stream, see right there she is. She is annoyed that she is trapped in here because generally all the doors in this condo of mine are open. But, I'm a commitment phobe. I want what I can't have. And there's something that I miss. Something I haven't watched at all this season. What was that? Oh, there's a noise in the background. I'm just going to keep playing it. Guys, I miss the Seattle Seahawks. I do. Even though I don't miss Seattle Seahawks fans because I don't think they like me particularly much. mainly because of me going after Russell Wilson as hard as I did during his last year with the team. Who ended up being right? Who's keeping track of that? I don't know. All I know is that I miss watching that football team. Found myself on Sunday at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Such a cool showing to wrap up an awesome weekend in Vegas. Thinking to myself, fuck, man, I want to watch the Seahawks. Because they're fun. And they don't even have a traditionally good quarterback. Though you got to give Geno Smith a lot of credit for the season that he is having thus far. 1,700 yards throwing, 73.5% completion percentage, 11 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. Fuck, man, they are a lot of fun. I was actually texting Stacy Rost, my very good friend who works at 710 ESPN Seattle still. I guess they're the Seattle sports station now, doing the Bump and Stacy show with Michael Bumpus, who I also love. I saw Michael Bumpus up on the Jumbotron when I was at Circa Resort and Casino in Vegas over the weekend. I was like, Bump! I miss Bump too. But I texted Stacy today. I was like, you know, as much as I enjoy watching this Astros team, fuck, I kind of want to watch just the exciting, frisky football team because football's my favorite sport. And I mean, just look at everything that they have gotten this year. Rashad Penny off to a great start like he closed out last season. He gets hurt. Their rookie running back, Kenneth Walker III, comes in, and he's been great. Some of the other guys that they brought in defensively. Uchenna Nwosu making all those goal line stands against the Denver Broncos. You got Tariq Woolen, this giant, fast corner who's got 4 interceptions on the year. You have an offensive line with Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas as your starting tackles. I'm not even 100% sure who they are. I'm not 100% sure. But I know that they've been good. And remember going into this year, everyone's saying, oh, the Seahawks have the worst ranked offensive line in the National Football League. Russell Wilson's so smart for getting out. I miss following this team. Not going to lie. I hope you guys are enjoying it up there. What a year it's been. The smorgasbord of the Seattle Seahawks 4-3 start. First place in the NFC West 7 weeks in. Who would have thought that? And on the other side of things, the Denver Broncos just being a complete mess. Some comments, because this is a live show. You can join it on twitch.tv/Gallant Says. You can also join on youtube.com/Paul Gallant. Some comments. G-Man on the Astros. The Yankees are the Bronx Bombers, and the Astros are the Yankees' dream killers. Or you could say the Astros are the bomb squad. It's okay. It's like a D+ as far as corniness. We're working on it, G-Man. You got to come back to me with something a little bit better. Rebecca Breer says, go Seahawks. Jimmy Jam 8168 says, Washington State here. Still love you. G-Man continues saying, you must not want an Astros championship, you commitment phobe, because you're going to get it. I mean, I do want it. But I more so want a perfect playoffs than I want a World Series. Because I want to see something that's truly historic. All the teams that I've grown up for rooting for, they've all won. I mean, the Patriots won 6 Super Bowls. Monday night, Jesus. The Red Sox, when I was growing up rooting for them, they won in 2004. They won in 2007. I haven't really been that much of a fan since then. But the Celtics won in 2008. Syracuse has been to a couple of Final Fours. They haven't won it while I was rooting for them, but they, of course, won one in 2003. That was before I liked Syracuse. The Tampa Bay Lightning, the hockey team that I grew up rooting for because I didn't start watching hockey games until I moved to St. Petersburg, Florida. That team is damn good. Like, the Florida Gators won a couple of national titles. I lived in high school in Florida, for those who don't know, and I became a Gator fan when I was a little kid. Like, every team that I root for has won. So I want it to be actually special what the Astros do this postseason, especially because it'll be really fun to make people shut the fuck up about all of the cheating and all the advantages that they supposedly had. I got a question about Russell Wilson. And I want to know your thoughts on this, because I saw this tweet today during my show. It comes from Zach Stevens, DNVR, the Broncos beat reporter for Denver Sports at thedenver.com. Russell Wilson worked out and stretched for 4 of the 8 hours on the flight from Denver to London, because the Broncos are playing the Jaguars in primetime action, though it's morning primetime action this weekend. Said he was doing high knees in the aisle when the rest of the guys were asleep. Maybe he's an insomniac. Russell Wilson's full quote, I don't really get jet lag too often. I've traveled enough to kind of get my system down. For me, I was on the plane the first 2 hours. What is it? An 8-hour flight? The first 2 hours, I was watching film, watching all of the cut-ups and everything else. And then the next 4 hours, I was doing treatment of the plane. I was walking up and down the aisles. Everyone was knocked out. I was doing high knees and working on my legs and everything else, making sure I'm ready to rock. So that was good. Oh my God. In the last 2 hours, the last hour of that, I fell asleep for 1 hour and I watched the film for the rest. I felt good to go once we got back. Coaches did a good job. Coach Landau, whoever that is, and the whole coaching staff had us do a little movement. So we got here, did a little movement. I did my full workout, did all that, and then maybe rested for 2 to 3 hours once I got home. I feel great. What? He's an insomniac, right? Or perhaps he's doing some sort of performance-enhancing drugs, right? Are the Seattle Seahawks back in play? Did he learn something from Richard Sherman along the way before he went to Denver? And remember last year when he was rehabbing his injured hand, wrist, finger, I forget which one, I think it was finger. He was talking about how he's rehabbing it like 20 hours a day. He has got to be some sort of insomniac or on something that just keeps him awake at all times. Maybe he's taking that limitless drug that you have in the movie with Bradley Cooper. Whatever it is, it's fascinating. And I want to know if you guys think he's a bit. I do think that the people coming after Russell Wilson for being corny, I think they're going a little bit too far. I think Russell Wilson basically forcing his way out of Seattle without putting his name on it, that is why I dislike him. That is why I'm rooting against him. And as JM1231 points out on YouTube, watching this Broncos pick climb higher and higher is such a freaking joy. Rooting against Russ is icing on the cake. It's fun to root against him. He is annoying when he is in a press conference situation. Every now and then, though, he makes me crack up. Is it because of something that he is doing intentionally or unintentionally? That I cannot determine. We've all seen the YouTube ad, right? Excuse me, the Subway ad, right? Here it is, if you haven't seen it, via YouTube. This is Russell Wilson's Subway commercial.
Hey, you want to split this Subway sandwich? It is my signature sandwich. It's called the Danger Witch, and it's dangerously good. Be careful, though. It's spicy. You ever done anything dangerous? Oh, jeez. That is dangerous. I've done something like that, too. I won't tell anybody. Listen, one time... Never mind. That's too dangerous. Anyways, my Danger Witch, it's only in the vault. That's our little secret.
So, that's fucking hysterical. G-Man says Russell Wilson turned into Dakota Prescott. Well, maybe from an injury perspective, I don't think Dak's ever been, I don't know, someone who's shown any personality, and I'll give Russell Wilson credit for that. I'm not going to give him a lot of credit for anything, but whatever this character is, I enjoy that character. I want to see more of him. And by the way, we actually got more of him. I guess there was another Russell Wilson Subway commercial. I missed this one. This is also great. This one, I believe, was posted by HBO Max.
I call this one... Before midnight. I call this one... The blind. Big bite. The drop of the left hand. Upside down. Here comes the airplane.
What?
Here comes the airplane. Here comes the airplane.
What is going on?
Be careful though. It's spicy. Here comes the airplane. You ever done anything dangerous? Here comes the airplane. And it's dangerously good.
I'm sorry. That's the greatest thing I've ever seen. Like, that's a really funny commercial. I actually almost want to go back to Subway and buy a sandwich that's got bungee cord material and yoga mat material in it, you know? Watching those commercials makes me want to go to Subway. Because back in the 90s, you used to go to eat out because of the commercials that you saw. That's how it used to go. I love those commercials. And I figured, all right, maybe there'd be an uptick in sales or something like that. But here's an interesting article that I saw, courtesy of the New York Post, because I hadn't even seen all of the commercials that we had for Subway. This is from the New York Post one more time. Russell Wilson's Danger Witch not on Subway menu amid relentless ad trolling. The article reads, my cat just jumped up on the TV. Russell Wilson isn't having much luck off the football field either. The Broncos quarterback, who leads the NFL's worst offense through 6 weeks, also saw his signature Danger Witch retired from the Subway menu. Wilson's sub, introduced to the chain's dynamic vault menu in February 2022 as part of its showcase for athlete partnerships, was a concoction of pepperoni, salami, black forest ham, provolone cheese, and bacon on Italian herbs and cheese bread topped with lettuce, green peppers, tomatoes, banana peppers, and filled with yellow mustard and mayo. That's just so much for a sandwich. The spokesperson for Subway told the Post, the Subway works with a variety of athlete partners, and the vault is the perfect place to showcase their favorite sandwiches. While the Danger Witch sub left the vault in August to make room for some new craveable options, don't worry, the Danger Witch will be back soon. I want it back now. It should be back. And it seems like it's unrelated to Russell Wilson's play with the Denver Broncos. There is definitely a point, and Baker Mayfield learned this the hard way, where too many commercials are going to make people just continue to clown and clown and clown on you some more. But there's a part of me that wants to see more of this Russell Wilson, and I think that Subway's making a big mistake taking that down. I think you roll into this. Those were 2 funny commercials. Some more comments. Twitch.tv/Gallant says. YouTube.com/Paul Gallant. If you're listening to this podcast, you can watch the show and join the show live. This comment from G-Man. Watch next time you eat Subway. You'll tell yourself, here comes the airplane. Here comes the airplane. Seriously, I might start doing that with all the food that I eat going forward. G-Man also asks me about the Rockets. Sengun is turning into Westbrook with the turnovers. I'll be honest, haven't watched any Rockets yet. Going to watch tonight for the first time. I've been so damn focused on the World Series, the ALCS, baseball, that I have barely been paying attention to any other sports. The NBA is something that I don't really turn my full attention to until generally January or so. We got a special visitor here. It's my cat, Aria. Want to say hi to everybody? Hello. Oh, look at her. What a ham. You're so pretty. Bye. Okay, what else do we got here? Oh. So I was in Las Vegas this past weekend. There are a multitude of concerts that supposedly took place. I guess there was some emo festival that got canceled because of all the wind. The wind was freaking crazy this weekend. I don't know how many people were in Vegas. I've never seen wind like that before, really anywhere. To the point where we were out at a pool and they made everyone go inside because they were nervous that chairs were going to get lifted up into the air. But I guess Katy Perry was in Las Vegas. I'm not the biggest Katy Perry fan. As far as some of her songs, I want to make sure that the show gets monetized on YouTube, so I'm not going to actually play any of her music. I'll just sing it to you instead. You know, you've got Roar. And you're gonna hear me roar. My voice is a little dead from Vegas. Normally I'd be able to hit all of those notes. What's the other song that she does? Baby, you're a firework. Baby, you're a firework. Baby, you're a firework. Baby, you're a fire. Oh, she's not happy. I was trying to sing with the cat. It's okay, honey. It's okay. It's okay. Baby, you're a firework. Okay, yeah, she doesn't want that. But anyway, that's what Katy Perry sounds like to me. She had a concert. And this happened at the concert, and it's gone viral. People, and you can watch the video again, youtube.com/Paul Gallant, twitch.tv/Gallant says if you watch the podcast live, we do add some video to it. Here is what everyone is talking about with Katy Perry. So you see her up there. She's wearing a dress with cans over her cans. That's funny. I don't know what's going on here, but her right eyelid is closing, and it closes all the way shut. She touches the side of her eye. It goes up a second again. And she keeps on touching the side of it. I don't know what's going on there. It looks like she's wearing all sorts of, I don't know, eyeliner, extra eyelashes or something like that. But whatever's going on, it has people talking. All sorts of takes, right? And that's just how the internet works. And unfortunately for Katy Perry, she is somebody who has been very vocal about getting vaccinated. I looked this up on Google. And look, here's my take on vaccinations. Get it, don't get it, do you. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what you've done. I don't give a fuck. I don't care, you know? I think there's a lot of questions that are fair to be asked about how effective it is, whatever. That's not me saying don't take it. Naturally, this is going to turn into, I don't know, some sort of a political discussion. I don't give a fuck. Don't tell me what to do. That's sort of what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to say. When I was in Seattle, I got vaccinated for work because it was required to go into work. I got the booster. I got COVID-19, 4 days later after getting the booster. Think what you may. But Katy Perry is someone who has talked about vaccines to the point where she actually, along with her hubby, Orlando Bloom, as you see right here, they dressed up as a vaccine and a doctor. So naturally, you go to Google and you look up some of the takes that are coming up. Pretty much every single take is about, maybe Katy Perry had an eye glitch due to the COVID vaccine. And I actually feel bad for her that people are coming after her like this. And also that this is being as broken down as it is. Sometimes your eyelid does weird stuff, twitches. But it's gotten to the point where if you take a look online, fact check from MSN. Did Katy Perry have an eye glitch due to COVID? Most of the takes are, wow, she got it because she got a vaccine. I don't think that's what happened. I think it's funny that people react that way. I feel like we got to stop trying so hard, though, to confirm our hope that the vaccine will work versus our perhaps hope that it isn't going to work. It's two totally different groups I'm talking about here. Once again, all I will say is, don't tell me what to do. And don't tell me what you did. I don't care. Comments on youtube.com/Paul Gallant. Rebecca Breer says, Paul, keep your day job, LOL. G-Man says, let me sing. Thank you, G-Man. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, it's something I just want to do all the time.
I'd rather just sing.
All day long. But, you know, at a certain point, you have to be serious. You actually have to communicate your thoughts through just the spoken word. That's what you got to do when you're a sports talk show host. All right, guys, are we ready? Are we ready for the piping hot House of the Dragon take? Are you ready? If you haven't watched it, there's one spoiler alert horn. There is another spoiler alert horn. There is a third. You have been warned. The House of the Dragon Season 1 finale was Sunday. All in all, and I haven't talked about this show nearly as much as I would like to, I will give the first season of the show a B. It was better than I expected given the way that Game of Thrones went, but as the show went on, I started expecting a little bit more from it. I felt like there weren't enough deaths. on the show, to be perfectly honest. And I also have questions about the decision to move from young Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen, played by Millie Alcock, and young Alicent Hightower, played by Emily Carey, to older versions of the same characters, played by Emma Darcy and Olivia Cooke, respectively. Nothing against those actors, but there you go. I got you, Rebecca. I know you're kidding. I know you want me to sing forever and ever. Should I just sing my take about House of the Dragon right now? No, I'm just kidding. The season finale ends, and I have to look at a chart to remember the characters' names because there are too many characters, and they all got fucking weird names, like Jacaerys and Lucerys. But Lucerys Valerian, the son, technically, of Rhaenyra Targaryen and Laenor Valerian, but actually the son of Harwin Breakbone Strong and Rhaenyra Targaryen, is tasked with going to Storm's End, which we saw for the first time, which is where the Baratheons make their home base. He is going there to ask for support. Little did we know that one-eyed Aemond Targaryen, played by Ewan Mitchell now, honestly, a character that is, I think, rather exciting going forward. He's there, and he's already made a play to get the support of the Baratheons, because what's happening right now is essentially a coup. Aegon Targaryen has been crowned as king of Westeros, even though he doesn't want it, instead of Rhaenyra Targaryen, who Viserys, her father, had, of course, promised her to be. She was going to be the heir to the throne. So, okay, I set this up enough, right? Spoiler alert, one more time. Lucerys and his dragon get eaten by Aemon's dragon accidentally. Aemon's trying to fuck with them. Lucerys, wrong place, wrong time, he's dead. And you're thinking, okay, maybe this is just a random happening. But watch the end of that episode again. Game of Thrones is not a show that puts in filler scenes. They don't do it. My question is, what the hell, and again, I'm going into the chart because I forget the names. It's bad that I'm forgetting this guy's name. What was Daemon Targaryen doing when he went into that cave? Talking to some sort of dragon. Is it possible that he was saying something to Lucerys' dragon to maybe make him act out of turn, a little crazy, to not obey Lucerys? And I ask that because if you watch the last scene of the episode, Daemon is the one who finds out that Lucerys died. How? How would anyone find that out? All you would know is that Lucerys did not return home to Dragonstone. He's missing. What happened? He was at Storm's End. Did he get lost in a storm? Him getting lost in a storm, dying in a storm. Honestly, I feel like that is a viable alternative for what could have happened to him. How would anyone know? You know, it's not like there's a bunch of satellites or cell phones or anything like that. I mean, we're talking about communication has to be sent via dragonback. I think that Daemon did something to Lucerys' dragon. I think that Daemon wanted a war. I think Daemon caused the war by sacrificing a child that isn't his. He did something that led to Lucerys' dragon attracting the ire of Aemon's dragon. That is my hot take. I want to know what you think about it. I am Paul Gallant. This has been the Gallant Says podcast, which is available live on Twitch and YouTube, youtube.com/Paul Gallant, twitch.tv/Gallant Says. Subscribe if you haven't. On either of those, if you want to participate with the show, we are live weekdays, 3 o'clock Central Time. You can also subscribe to the podcast in a listening form, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud. Big thanks to everybody who joined me today. So long, farewell, have yourselves a wonderful rest of your Wednesday, and until Thursday afternoon at 3 o'clock,